We've just been hearing that spiders have got a bit of a bad reputation. So do they deserve this reputation?
They certainly don't deserve this reputation. And to answer the question, why do people fear them? It's how they look, it's how they move, it's the fact that it gets into people's spaces where they live, and they're not easily avoidable. A lot of people avoid fears by simply not going to the place where those things are. You can't really do that with spiders because they come inside your home.
Now, house spiders can't harm you particularly, can they? But still people seemingly are terrified of them.
Yeah, and that's because if someone feels that they can't cope with the spider, and there's a feeling of overwhelm, that they're not in control, then the sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and then there's this kind of feeling of absolute panic. So it's not really the spiders that hurt them, but it's how they evaluate their ability to handle the spiders. That creates severe anxiety, that creates panic, and that's really what they don't like. It's not the spiders, it's how the spiders make them feel.
I mean, we were discussing this yesterday in the office and discussing about, it being spider season. And there was a story put out by the local police here in Lancashire. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but there was quite a nasty looking RTA with a car overturned with two passengers who thankfully were unharmed, all caused, as Lancashire Police said, by a spider.
I've heard this before. There was a lady that came to one of our workshops, and the reason why she was so motivated to get rid of the fear is that she was driving at 70 miles an hour on a motorway, and a spider came down from the mirror. And of course, for a phobic, the only thing you're looking at is a spider. You're not looking at the road. You're not looking at anything else. And to quote her, she said, "How I didn't kill myself or anyone else, I've got no idea." But she did manage to get to the hard shoulder. She did manage to, stop the car and get out. But that could have ended very badly. So people can be very, let's say, not understanding when people have these fears or have these severe phobias, but they can be catastrophic. They can be very serious indeed.
So what's the best way then to manage a fear of spiders?
I think, the advice would be, to take it at your own pace, but it's really to understand it's not the spider. Any phobic of spiders has had the experience of thinking they saw a spider, but actually it was the top of a tomato or a ball of fluff, and then having the same reaction. So first is accepting that it's not actually the spider, but it's those neural pathways, it's the associations that they have with the spiders that make them feel a certain way. And the other thing is to know that actually these fears don't have to be permanent, and you can change through education, through perceptions, and through some of the techniques that I use. You can change how you think and feel about spiders. And we've had people turn up to a workshop and within a few hours go from one of the most severe phobics I've ever seen to holding a house spider, holding a tarantula,
Wow.
and they're free of the fear forever.
So it's worth doing something about then. But what other things are people commonly frightened of? I'm not mad on moths, if I'm honest. They're not my favourite.
No, moths and butterflies is because of the unpredictability. They don't fly in a straight line. So again, there's a feeling of lack of control. But it's things, the popular ones that I tend to see clients for are things like dogs, because dogs are so popular, snakes, and you get lots of different animals. I think one of the stranger animals that I had was kind of the earwigs or millipedes, and they're quite rare. You can avoid them. They don't tend to get into homes, but they can terrify certain people.
Now, you're a phobia guru. Is there anything that presumably you can't be scared of anything, Adam?
No, I used to be, and it's why I do what I do. I used to, have social anxiety disorder. I couldn't even speak to people. I used to have public speaking phobia, fear of heights. But one by one, I got through all my fears. But the most recent one I had was a fear of doing stand-up comedy. And I thought, who am I to call myself a phobia guru if I'm having anxiety, the idea of doing that? And that's exactly why I did that, not to be a comedian, but just to kind of banish that fear.
Wow, it's fascinating. Like your brain and what it can make you believe is fascinating. So yeah, well worth getting rid of a phobia then. Thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. I've genuinely found it interesting. That was Adam Cox, phobia guru.